Hello, my name's Aaron and I'm a teacher of the deaf, and I've been teaching deaf children now for over 20 years. Last year when organising a Deaf Awareness Week at my school, I had the pleasure of reading a draft copy of a book called A Girl Like Ananya. And I'm going to read to you the published version now. And we used this book as part of our Deaf Awareness Week because it talked about identity. And identity for any child is very important, but also for a deaf child, it's very important for them as well. So we use this book to help them talk about their own identity. So at the end of the story, there's a lovely little activity that you can do. And it's not just for children who are deaf, but it can be for anybody. And it tells you more about yourself and things that are important to you and things that you are good at, things that you like, things that you dislike, and what makes up you as a person. So I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to read it to you now, and try the activity at the end. It's lovely. So we used it at school and the children loved it and got a lot of really good information out of it. So I would highly recommend it. A Girl Like Ananya by Karen Hardwick. But before we read the story, we need to explore the following question. Do these two phrases mean the same thing? Number 1, the deaf girl. And number 2, the girl who is deaf. Being deaf, what does it mean? When someone is deaf or hard of hearing, it means their ears don't work very well. They often need to wear assistive hearing devices like hearing aids or cochlear implants to help them to hear. And this story is called A Girl Like Ananya by Karen Hardwick. Perhaps you have seen a girl like Ananya at school, in a shop, in the park. Perhaps if you look closely, you will notice that she wears cochlear implants to help her to hear. This is a cochlear implant. If you know a girl like Ananya, she may tell you she needs to see your mouth when you speak, and that it is difficult to listen in noisy rooms, like in the dinner hall at school, and that if you speak too slowly or too quickly, this is difficult too. If you know a girl like Ananya, she may tell you that she needs to wear her cochlear implants every day. When she takes them off, she can hear nothing at all. Take a moment to think about this. Can you imagine hearing nothing at all? If there is a girl like Ananya in your class, you might have wondered why your teacher wears a device around her neck. It is called a radio aid. It helps Ananya to listen to the teacher's voice, even in a noisy room. This is what it looks like. It's the radio aid. The radio aid system usually consists of 2 parts. The transmitter, which contains a microphone and is worn by the teacher, and a receiver, which are attached to the children's hearing aids or cochlear implants. And they pick up sound being sent by the transmitter. Sometimes, just sometimes, the teacher forgets to turn off her radio aid, and Ananya hears her on the toilet. But there is one thing you need to know about Ananya. Ananya is deaf, but that's not all. Ananya is a daughter and a sister. She is a friend and a pupil. Ananya plays netball and the piano. Ananya likes Minecraft and stories at bedtime. Ananya doesn't like waking up or getting lots of homework. Anya is not sure what she believes, but this might change as she gets older. Ananya wants to be a scientist, but this might change as she gets older. Perhaps you have seen a child like Ananya at school, in a shop, in the park. But now you know, Ananya is deaf, but that's not all. Think about identity. These are some activities that you can do. Before you read this book, you thought about the following question. Do these phrases mean the same thing? 1. The deaf girl. 2. The girl who is deaf. Is Ananya deaf, and that is all? Or are there many parts to her identity? Have you changed your mind? And here's an activity that you can do as well. It's who am I? Think about your own identity. Many things make you who you are. Write your name and draw yourself in the center of the circle. Then list 8 things that make up part of your identity. Here are some helpful hints. Are you kind? Are you loving to your family? Are you sporty, creative, funny, or are you serious? You can draw a picture for each one around the outside here, which is very good. Now, there's a little bit here about the author. This book is dedicated to the original Ananya, a truly remarkable girl who was deaf, and also to Sue Branson, who was also truly remarkable. There's a little bit of information here about the author, Karen. Karen Hardwick was born in north of England. Being a northerner is very much part of her identity, as is being a wife and a mum, a teacher of the deaf and a parent of a deaf child, a reader and a writer, a friend and occasionally a runner. Karen now lives in the heart of Berkshire, UK, with her family and her 2 chocolate Labradors. A Girl Like Ananya is her first book.